Hello heroes, and welcome back to the Guild, your home for all things Ascension WoW. Today we're diving into the front line and breaking down the best tanks in the game. Whether you're charging into dungeons, holding aggro in raids, or just looking to build something unstoppable, this tier list is going to show you who's S tier and who's better left on that bench. So sharpen those blades, bless those shields, and let's see which tanks are truly built to lead the charge. Let's get into it. I want to start off by saying that this is going to be my opinion after playing each one of these tanks. Now, I've played them up to about level 40, and so I've got a basic idea of what these tanks are capable of doing. Now, this is not including best enchants, best armor, things like that, but just generic play leveling. These are going to be the best, in my opinion, tanks that you can play if that's the game style you're looking for. So the first one I want to start off with is Cultist. Cultist is actually going to be probably one of the most powerful aggro pulling tanks we have. They are dominating to where other tanks cannot pull off them if they have aggro first. It is phenomenal how much aggro these guys can pull. The only true downside is that you're still having to manage your sanity meter. So if you're not paying too much attention to it, you could end up taking more damage than mitigating it. So I'm still going to put this guy in S tier, because arguably this is one of the best tanks in the game, hands down. Has self-heals, great aggro generation, can grab up just about everything on a map with no real problem. The only thing that I would recommend with this is make sure you have a solid healer as well, so that when you do those mass pulls, until you can start generating your stuff, that you're able to get heals going to. The next tank that we're going to talk about is the Staraller. Now the Staraller, I'm putting as an A tier. And there's for two reasons. One, if they are trying to do a big pull and they don't tell you that, it is super easy to pull targets off of them. But if they communicate correctly and tell you that they are making a big pull, or everyone understands that they're going to make a big pull, once they have that aggro, they're not losing that aggro. They are kings at AoE. But where they lack is self-heals. I've played the Staraller tank. I think I got him up to about level 32, 33, somewhere in that ballpark. And it was very hard for me to self-heal. But if I was running with a solid healer in a dungeon, I was not going down and I wasn't losing aggro. But again, it's key to communicate with the group to make sure that they know what you're doing. Next is going to be the Sun Cleric. Sun Clerics, in my opinion, are probably the most fun tanks because they have some of the coolest soundboards. But again, I think they're A tier for the sole fact that they're kind of meh when it comes to AoE and meh on aggro generation. They're phenomenal at self-heals. They have a lot of self-healing. They're great. Got this guy up to about 35 before I switched characters. Did pretty well with solo content. Dungeons, again, if I communicated properly to what I was doing, didn't really have that many problems. Next is going to be the Rune Master. Now, I'll be honest with Rune Master. I'm not a huge fan of Rune Master. For me, it was a B tier. That might just be because I don't understand the Rune Master very well. It's designed to feel like it's a ranged in melee range. It's weird. I don't. It did okay as tanking. Again, I had to super communicate with the team to make sure that I was letting them know that, I needed heals when I was going to do big pulls and when I was going to do LOS and things like that. So it got a little tricky. So that's why I'm putting it in B tier. But again, it may just because I don't understand it all that well. Next is going to be your Primalist. Primalists are really good. The only real reason I'm putting this in B tier is the fact that they feel squishier than most tanks do. They have the ability to pop some cooldowns and take some big hits, but outside of those cooldowns, they feel very squishy, but they are heavy on AoE abilities. You can proc one of your AoE abilities, it feels like every couple seconds, which allows you to just keep aggro all the time. I just wish they didn't feel as squishy as they did. Next is Reaper. Reaper is probably better for when you're going into PvP. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. As a PvE tank, it is definitely a B tier. It is one of those classes that if you're not almost best in slot gear for the actual gear, or your enchants, or you're not using professions to upgrade your stuff, Reaper is really, really rough in PvE content. But in PvP, it is phenomenal. It is hilarious to be able to teleport around as a tank and beat on people and them not be able to do as much damage to you. But PvE feels a little lackluster in my opinion. It feels like they built it to be a PvP class versus a PvE class. Next is going to be the Venommancer. Arguably one of the best classes. I'm putting this guy up in S tier. If this was the overall tier video, he would also be in S tier because he is great at tanking, he is great at heals, he is great at melee DPS, range DPS. The Venommancer feels like the most overpowered class right now for any spec that you're trying to do. As far as tanking goes specifically, the fact that I can spread poisons quickly to grab aggro, the fact that I have ranged aggro abilities, melee aggro abilities, ways of mitigating damage, self-healing abilities, like, it's got everything. I wish it was a little bit faster in terms of getting around, but that's just a personal thing for me. I like being able to move a little bit faster when I'm a tank. Next is Felsworn. Felsworn, y'all know me. Usually I throw this guy in S tier, but as tanks go, I think he's an A tier. Low A, high B tier, somewhere in between here, which kind of hurts me a little bit. I love the Felsworn, but the problem with the Felsworn tank is the fact that it doesn't really have enough self-healing to make it viable if your healer starts to slow down or run out of mana or just doesn't heal well. It's got plenty of defensive abilities, but as far as healing goes, if you run out of defense abilities, you're not getting enough self-heals to keep yourself up well enough. That's my issue with the Felsworn. But outside of that, I mean, he's a fantastic class to play. Melee, ranged, tank. It's fun. So if you're looking for a fun tank to play, he's there. If you're looking for in-game content, probably not going to be there for raids and Mythic Plus. Next is going to be the Bloodmage. Bloodmage, I still think, as far as tanking goes, is definitely going to be S tier. It is super fast, grabs lots of AoE and single target aggro, has a lot of self-healing abilities, has a lot of tank abilities, has the ability to leap when you're needing to get somewhere quickly or get out of an AoE damage ability quickly. I mean, this thing was built to be a tank. It is an absolute phenomenal class as a tank. Next, we're going to go Witch Hunter. Witch Hunter tanks, again, I only got mine up to about level 30. I don't think I got any higher than that on mine. But I've played with some top tier Witch Hunters. They are a little complicated, but once you get it, they are easily S tier. However, I am going to drop it down to A tier for the average player, the person that's not going to be trying to get the best of the best of the best, this is a solid A tier tank. Great speed, great tank ability skills, defensive, healing, you name it, this guy's got it. The only reason why I'm saying he's not S tier for everybody is because you really got to know this class in and out, have good gear, have that great rotation setup to make this guy S tier. If you've got that, all day long, S tier all day long, right? Until then, though, solid A. Like, you can do heroic dungeons with him to get the gear. You can do mythics when you have some of the gear, and you'll be okay. But until then, solid A. Next is going to be the Knight of Zoroth. Okay? Again, this might be because I don't understand it too well, but I'm going to say B tier. It does have a lot of AoE. It does have some huge self-healing potentials. It also has some huge tanking offensive abilities that just make it a nightmare of a tank for the enemies. But again, because I don't understand it all that well, I would say it's a high B, low A tier. Again, somewhere kind of in between here, just like the Felsworn. But for me personally, I'm putting it in the B tier because leveling it feels super slow. And I like feeling that super fast type level stuff. Next is Templar. Templar, we'll just use this one because they don't actually have the real Templar symbol. So the Templar, I'm actually putting in A tier. For me, it's a high A, low S tier category. So in between these two, Templar is arguably one of the best soloable classes in the game. It has plenty of defenses, plenty of self-healing. It's got great moverability, aggro generation, damage mitigation, you name it, this thing's got it. Lots and lots of people I have seen solo dungeons with this thing. Now we're talking normal dungeons, not heroic or mythics, but I have seen them solo on just that class by themselves. Like, it's insane. Great class. Doesn't really take a whole lot of figuring out to get, but once you get it figured out and you get some decent gear, doesn't even have to be best in slot, decent gear, you are an S tier tank. Period, end of story. And last but not least is going to be Guardian. Guardian is an A tier for me as well, and the reason for this is because it has a lot of shielding. It has okay damage. Doesn't really have any major healing to it. It does have a little bit of self-healing, but not enough to be like, ooh, heals. But if you get the rotation down correctly, you don't take damage at all. Like, you don't really need self-heals. You just won't take damage. That's why I'm putting it in A tier. It does require you to figure out the rotation. It does require you to figure out a little bit of the gear set going. But if you get decent gear, you get the rotation down pat, you are a solid A tier tank all day long. Until then, you're probably going to be a B tier tank, but I'm putting it as an A tier for me personally because once I got that rotation figured out, I wasn't taking damage. I could pull half a dungeon and the healer could stand there and not do nothing. It was crazy. Super good tank once you get that rotation down. That's going to be all the tanks. I know there's 21 classes, guys. As you can see, there's still some down here that we haven't even touched on, but they don't have any tanking classes. The next couple videos that we're going to put out will be for melee and ranged and heals and then an overall, but this was just for tanking. I absolutely appreciate everybody watching. If you think I got something wrong, though, drop that in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think I should move to an S tier or move out of S tier. I'm curious to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, guys, we do have a merch store, so go check that out. I have the link in the description as well. And then I stream every day. The schedule is posted, but I do stream for at least 2 hours every day, 4 hours on my days off. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see when I go live on Ascension WoW. Peace out, heroes. And again, welcome to the guild.